Hi, welcome to ERPNext. In this webinar, we will cover the new features which are added in ERPNext version 11.
HR features are now fine-tuned to accommodate, larger corporations or maybe bigger enterprises, which so now there are kind of changes in leave management, payroll, then employee onboarding and separation, shift management, etc. So in most large enterprises, it's kind of difficult to manage, the HR related activities. So that's how the V11 is going to help larger enterprises onboard ERPNext and manage their HR activities more easier. So we'll start with the leave management. We look at the leave types. There's a little bit more support for various options in creating leave types itself. So we have these are all earlier features itself. Maximum leaves allowed in a year. Then this is for this applicable after is will help you configure the leaves which can only be taken after the employee joins the company and works for a particular number of days. Then we have a leave encashment added now. Then earned leave is also there. So for earned leave, you can specify in which frequency it is the employee earns the leaves. So earned leave is like whenever employee works for 1 month, he gets 2 leaves or so. Encashment is encashing the leaves which the employee didn't avail in a particular leave period. So, and in this threshold days is to mention that this many days won't be allowed to encash. So that's about the leave type. Now, our changes, we have introduced this leave period. The leave policy. So the HR can specify a leave policy for a particular company. Okay, so we can say this many leaves are allocated for every employee for this particular year or the leave period actually. So, so in one place you can set the leave policy, and leave policy can be assigned to each employee or based on the grades of the employee. So for example, for this company, this is the leave period that we configured. So if you can select the grades of the employee, then you can grant the leaves to all the employees. Yes, Liaquat, I guess that's how, I mean, it's leave can be carried forward or it could be encashed. See, you can use what do you say, various combinations of these carried forward and plus encashment. So if the employee doesn't encash it in the leave period, he can get carried. In the leave period, you can allocate grant leaves. That is, it creates a leave allocation as in earlier design itself, and it will create leave allocation for the employees for this particular company. So now, if you look at the leave allocations, you can see this many leave allocations will be created. So for casual leave, the annual allocation as per the leave policy will be allocated. And for earned leaves, initially there won't be any allocation, but every based on the frequency, the scheduler will allocate leaves as the employee as the time proceeds. So that's about leaves, leave allocation and leave policies. So the leave allocation code is now gone off, but instead you have to use the leave period and grant leaves to each employee. Now for leave encashment, employee can select leave period. Now can say partial leave. Now it will say the leave balance of the employee and how much leaves they can encash. So the threshold is for casual leave is 10, so that's why that's not allowed to be encashed. Because privilege leave is having 5 as threshold days, so that's not allowed to be encashed. Now when you save and submit this, this will create an additional salary which will be added to the that particular payroll. Now the leave after encashing, the leave balance will also be reduced for the employee. So he won't be able to apply for this 7 days which is already encashed. Then compensatory leave cost is there. This means employees can request for leaves which are for the days they have worked on holidays. So it will actually create additional salary for that particular. Sorry, it will actually allocate that compensatory leaves for that particular employee in the leave allocation. I guess that's about in the leaves. Uh, we can move on to the now leave application actually okay has been refactored, and if you select it will show you uh, the list of leaves which are allocated and which what is they can what is pending, what's the balance of the leaves. The behavior is almost similar. The only thing is the employee gets to see what is the status of his leaves. Now, another feature is attendance request. So this actually where this the employee can actually uh, request for what do you say uh, for attendance for the days they have worked from home or so then the HR manager can maybe what do you say or the approver can approve this and create the what do you say the attendance for the employee. Earlier we didn't have any option for managing shifts or so or configuration for
a shift type, like you can mention the start and end time, and then from shift request, you can request for a particular shift from one date to another, and upon submission of this shift request, shift assignments will be created for all those dates as requested.
so we can add a workflow for approval or something from the front end itself, so that it will be approved by somebody and the shift will be assigned to the particular employee. Now, ERPNext currently has allows a tree structure of a company. So, staffing plan allows to create plans for group companies, and so this is a company structure here for the we have uh, a group company and two sub companies under it, and this is another company alongside the group company itself. So we create a staffing plan for the group company. So we can create staffing plans for each designation. So pop it up, you can see that there are current count of employees, there is 11. So now you can say you are looking for 30 software developers in this year. So you can open 19 vacancies, and for 19, you can say the cost of per position. So possibly it's maybe 5 lakh. So this is the cost that that will be estimated for this particular 19 vacancies. And similarly, you can also do for each designation. This number of questions is what you are targeting for this particular period. So if you already have 11, sorry, all 11 positions which are already hired, so we can open 19 vacancies. In this case, it's we have already 5 employees, and you don't have any openings, job openings for this particular designation. So now, when we create job openings, you can only it will validate. Example, if it's the sub company of the group company, so you can say that there are 19 positions that are vacant. So you will be only able to make 19 openings in this particular period. And also you can also create what is staffing plans for for the sub companies, this is the group company. So if we create a staffing plan for software, you can say there's only 11 employees currently. Now, if we try to allocate more positions, it will actually limit you into the parent plans. So according to the parent company staffing plan, you can the sub companies can create vacancies. Now 11.0 we have the employee lifecycle management. So you can have employee onboarding templates created. So if we see, so we can create templates. So we say for each employee, while onboarding, this is the checklist that you have to follow, or and you can assign users who has to perform each of these activities. So when we create let's do a new one. You can select the template. So the template for this particular designation. So it will create all the activities, I mean, as per the template. Now on submission of this, this will create a project for this particular employees onboarding activities with all the tasks that are mentioned in the template. Also, it will assign these tasks. So if you look at this particular task, it will be assigned to these users who are actually part of this onboarding, activity. And similarly, we can also create the separation. We have separation template also, which can be used while offboarding the employee. So this will help, in large organizations, it can automate many of the, the checklist activities. So in onboarding, and you can also, once you do that, we can actually create the employee from here directly. And then subsequently create user and other stuff. Now, in large corporations, there could be intercompany transfers, or employee, getting promoted. Also. So you can use this employee promotion document to promote a particular employee. So when you add row, you can select the properties which you need to change for this particular employee to record the transfer. So if you are changing the employee number, or you can change that to something. Now you can select the new designation for this particular employee. You can change the employee grade also. Now, reporting person, leave policy, all these things can be changed from this button, changed and updated. Now, on submit, this employees records will be what you say updated. So you can save it. Got changed into marketing and head of marketing. So this will help you, to selectively change the fields of the employee, and also it will show the history of the employee in the company. So every promotion, every promotion will be recorded in this chat table. Now, to record a transfer of the company, you can also select another company. So now you can select the fields here. You can select then new grade also. Maybe add a notice page. Now, checking this will create a new employee ID for this particular employee. So the new employee ID for Jonas 36, and is phone under software. So that's how employee transfer between the companies.
Similar to leave period, we have payroll period here. Now, we have introduced tax calculations also. Also, payroll period will be from just like a configuration, and come to the tax slab. Here we also have the tax slabs defined for with conditions. Now I just basically configured a slab for Indian region. And also we can mention the conditions by which this slab gets applied to the employee salary slip. Here we have basic details of employee as well as the salary component and salary slip. In salary component, the two these are some of the major changes that are in version 11, introduced in version 11. We have additional components then components which are tax applicable.
Additional components are actually no, not normal components, which are actually allocated, like for example, the bonus or such stuff. So that will be create as an additional salary.
And tax calculations will happen on all components which are marked as tax applicable. Then we have other which we had earlier, depends on leave and do not include in total, and also the statistical component. Also, you can manage benefits. To manage benefits component must be marked as also benefits can be of two types. One which are paid as and when the benefit claim is found, or when an employee applies for creates a benefit claim, and if those benefits which are applied based on claim will be divided pro rata onto the values. And also we have more configuration. These are benefits to create only tax impact. Configure only tax benefits will be added to salary. Basically, we have a change in the design of salary structure and salary structure assignments are newly introduced. So in salary structure assignments, we can assign salary structure to employees, okay, and define the base. Earlier we had it as a child table in salary structure, but then it is moved on to a new document itself called salary structure assignment. And in salary structure, there are two new fields introduced, which is one is the earlier one, which I didn't mention earlier, the for leave encashment. This will be the amount that will be paid to the paid as an additional salary. Now coming to benefits, here is the maximum benefit that can be given to the employee as per the salary structure. So this will be the annual benefit amount that will be provided to employee, and also these components which are flexible benefits have to be added to salary structure. For example, medical. If I go to this component, it is a flexible benefit, and the max amount of that benefit annually is defined over in the benefit itself. And this benefit is not marked as pay against benefit claims. So in the sense that this benefit will be paid pro rata. That is every month. So this 15,000 will be distributed if the salary frequency is monthly, and we have an 1 year payroll period. Then 15,000 will be divided by 12 and distributed every month. We have the option to tax benefits as and when required.
Okay. Okay.
Those benefits which are marked as pay against benefit claim, employee have to create
Application. Employee benefit application.
yeah, so benefit. Okay. Sorry, I was
benefit.
I just mentioned the difference between those two benefits. the other benefits will have to be claimed. Okay. Now, regarding the uh, employees can create benefit applications so that they can choose how to receive these benefits over time, and the amount also, amount per year also. So this is the benefit application. Ideally, it should be created at the start of a payroll period, so that this pro rata distribution of benefits will go up in sync. So
So basically, idea is that, for example, for the designation of software developer, there is a company policy like uh, employee can take benefit for 1 lakh rupees for the annual benefit, 1 lakh rupees. So basically, employee can choose which component they want to apply for, they want to take. So basically, at the beginning of the year, they can submit employee benefit application, and they can choose which component they will be applied for. So based on that, the basically payment will be generated, and the salary structure will be modified, and salary slip will be generated afterwards. And whichever is payable against claim. So basically, whenever they have proper valid document to submit, they will submit the employee benefit claim form, and they will attach the proof also there. So they have to submit employee benefit claim whenever they have document, and based on that, basically those component will be tax free.
So,
Yeah,
Nabin
Ranjit.
also, yeah,
Yeah,
in employee benefit application, employee can only select those components uh,
yeah, which are the part of the salary structure.
which are part of his salary structure.
So maybe in salary structure there are 5 component. Employee can choose any 3 component also, and modify the amount. So the total amount is defined in the salary structure, the total benefit amount. So they cannot exceed that, but they can choose basically. So maybe they can get paid every month, or they can get paid on the claim basis, whichever is defined in the component master. But basically, if they do not claim, then it will not be tax free. So tax will be applied on the payment amount. If whenever they claim, then that component will be tax free. That is the idea.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
And Nabeen,
Yes.
so where is the flag to segregate whether it is paid on claim basis or on the distributed 12 monthly basis?
That is on the salary component.
Okay.
So if you open mobile and telephone reimbursement,
Hmm.
Ranjit. So in flexible benefit section, there is checkbox pay against benefit claim. So if it is
Okay.
checked,
So
then then on which month you actually claim that benefit, then you will
get paid.
paid. Yeah, you will get paid on that month.
Okay. If it is not flagged, then every month it will be proportionate basis.
Every month it will. Yeah. Yes, correct.
Okay. Good.
Okay, Ranjit, let's continue.
Yeah, and so that's how benefits are handled. Like, I hope we understand the difference between the pro rata benefits and ones that are paid upon the claim. Now we have tax calculations, which we are.
So before tax calculation, you can also explain that additional salary and employee incentive also. Basically, if there is any component which will be paid out on urgent basis, ad hoc basis, like bonus or something like that, so which is not part of your salary structure, but you want to pay on a specific month, so you can create an additional salary component, and it will be automatically picked in salary slip for that month. So you can create additional salary record for any type of payment, basically, which are not part of your predefined salary structure.
So additional salaries can be paid out through this document by submission of this document. So this is the same document that will be created upon leave and encashment also. So while processing payslip, if there are any submitted additional salaries, then that particular amount will be disposed in that particular payslip.
Okay. Let's explain the tax calculation. Yeah.
Yeah. Taxes are actually employees can create, and submit tax exemption declarations. Okay, and end of year they can submit the proof also. Okay. Now we have a masters for tax exemption category. For example, the categories are 80, 80C, 80D, and all. So, and you can say a maximum limit for that.
All this 80C, 80D is for India only.
Right. Yeah, that is true. It's maybe if at all. Okay, and this could be the subcategories, and you can set the limits also as well. So based on this, employees can actually create declarations, exemption declaration, and also they can. This is again regional HRA. They can also specify the hour strength in the list.
Basically, at the beginning of the year, so employee can declare that declare their investment and whatever they are investing, whatever basically investments are they are doing for tax saving. So they can declare that, and based on that, the tax calculation will happen for the entire year.
And this HR exemption is regional, and it applies only to India. And so employees can create tax exemption declarations. So based on that, the tax deductions will be considered. And then also the tax exemption proof submission is there, which has to be this also has to be entered to get deductions. So, and here also we have this India specific HRA payment calculations. So once we which will be going to discuss those things, the conditions on which HRA is applied.
So for taxation, for the annual salary calculation and the exemptions, okay, that based on the declaration, it will be it will deduct or it will allow that much exemptions throughout the year, and at the end of the year, if there is no proof submission found, it will then deduct the whole taxes. That's how it's currently decided. In the last payroll period.
Yes. So basically that is it. Basically, based on the declaration, the tax calculation will happen, and employee can submit their proof anytime during the year. And after the submission, at the last period, basically it really happens in February and March in India. So they take consideration of all the proof submission and recalculate the tax, and basically yeah, that proof submission is taken care of. So in salary slip there is a option uh, to consider those basically unsubmitted proofs. Can you open salary once?
Sorry, the proof submission?
No, salary slip. So in salary slip there is a two option. One is for deduct tax for unclaimed employee benefits and deduct tax for unsubmitted tax exemption proof. So in generally in February and March, you will check these two check boxes, and if you check that, basically it will consider all the submitted proofs, and based on that, it will recalculate taxes and apply that new tax basically in salary structure. If there is no exemption proof submitted, then it will apply tax on the component which are earlier declared at the beginning of the year.
And also, as Liaquat asked earlier, all the unclaimed benefits also will be taxed on the
Correct. Correct. If it is not claimed, then it will be taxed at the end of the year. Any questions?
How it works.
So I think this is it. All this feature which were demonstrated is still in the beta phase. So as and when you get opportunity, please do test it and report issues. And that's how we engage with community and make and come up with a stable release. So we are looking forward to your contribution on the testing and even documentation front. We'll be very happy if you come forth and show your interest in all these initiatives. So that's it for now. Thanks everyone for joining.